On a record, please. So now yesterday we talked about the placenta, talked about the early development. So we talked about the first trimester. So we're going to move on to the second trimester today. So the second trimester is a period of growth. So this is the time when the fetal heartbeat might be heard with a stethoscope. So, and the third trimester, the fetus continues to grow at a rapid rate. Sit down, please, Walid. Sit down, please. Close the window. Close the window. Close the window. Close the window, Walid. Come over here. So the fetus continues to grow at a rapid rate in the third trimester. There is fat accumulation underneath the screen and also underneath the skin to provide insulation for the fetus once it's born. So now let's talk about the diagnosis. How do you diagnose in the fetus? Sometimes some diseases are diagnosed when the fetus when the fetus is still in the womb. So how do we do this diagnosis? We use what we call an ultrasound. So an ultrasound is a procedure in which sound waves are bounced off the fetus. So what happens is sound waves are sent to the fetus in the uterus, and it's being bounced back from the fetus. So you hear the sound, or sometimes they might use a kind of screen. So ultrasounds are used to determine if the fetus is growing properly. So one of the main reasons why ultrasound is being done is to check if the fetus are growing properly. Another reason is to check the position of the fetus in the uterus. So you want to check the position of the fetus, maybe it's positioned properly, because sometimes the baby might be positioned like this, along, so diagonal. So yeah, but normally it should be upside down. And normally it should be upside down. The head should be down. But sometimes it might bridge. We call it bridging in medicine. Once it bridges, it's a big problem. But if it bridges before the baby's size becomes very massive, it could still turn. So this is one of the things we need to be careful with. So ultrasound are used to determine if the fetus is growing properly, the position of the fetus in the uterus, and also we can use the ultrasound to know the gender, if it's a male or a female. So, and how do the medical doctors diagnose this? So there is what we call amniocentesis. So amniocentesis is getting some fluid from the amniotic sac. So you get some amniotic fluid. So, and this has been done in the second trimester. So amniotic fluid, which is a fluid from the amniotic sac, has been removed, has been taken out and been analyzed. So this is the uterus here, and we've got a fetus here, and this is the placenta. You can see the placenta, how it got stuck to the wall of the uterus, and how it's got connected to the umbilical cord. How it's got connected to the umbilical cord that goes to the navel of the baby. So the next one is called the chorionic villus sampling. So the chorionic villus sampling is performed during the first trimester. So what do? They remove cells from the chorion and they analyze it by karyotyping. Why do they do this? They want to check if there is any genetic problem. So karyotype, you know what karyotype is? A karyotype is a picture that has all of the chromosomes of an individual. So when you do karyotyping, you take a sample, then you have an image, the chromosomal image of the baby to check if there is a problem in the chromosome or not. So if everything is complete, then there is no problem. But if there is a problem with the chromosome, the doctors would encourage that the baby should be either removed or fixed. There was a doctor, it's an Nigerian American doctor, who removed the fetus in 32 weeks. So the baby has got cancer, has got tumor growing in one part of his body. I'm not sure now. So the doctor said he was going to remove the baby from the womb. So he operated, he cut open the woman, he brought out the baby, he removed the cancer, he treated the baby back, and he put the baby back in the womb. And the baby was born normally in the 38th week. So this is an amazing advancement in medicine. So instead of saying you want to kill the baby because the baby has cancer, you can treat the cancer and put the baby back, and the baby will come out normally. So now let's move on to the quiz questions we have. Now, question number 1 says, let's start from Ziad, then Fawaz, then Ahmed. Where is the human female reproductive tract? Where in the female reproductive tract does fertilization usually occur? Ziad? Huh? Yeah, what is it? Where does the fertilization occur? In the oviduct. Can you tell me another name for oviduct? Fallopian tube. Thank you. Question number 2 says, which of the following describes the proper sequence of development? Yeah, for us, the proper sequence of development. Huh? No, your 10 is 10. You didn't study. Which one forms first and which one is after it? When does the zygote form? The zygote forms after fertilization, isn't it? So after the zygote, the cells start to divide. The cell division is when the first thing the cell divides and form a hollow ball-like structure. What is that hollow ball-like structure called? Huh? No, that's called the morula. So it forms a morula, then after that, then additional multiple divisions happens. So it forms a blastocyst. Huh? So the answer is C. All right. So the zygote before the morula and the morula before the blastocyst. The blastocyst or the blastocyte is in the uterus. Is when it sticks to the wall of the uterus. That's when it's called a blastocyte or blastocyte. Now, Ahmed, this is yours. Which is produced by the placenta? Ahmed, which is produced by the placenta? B, estrogen and progesterone. Yeah, that is pretty correct. Thank you. The next one goes to Ziad again. Why is a human, Ahmed, sorry. Why is a human yolk sac shown in the illustration smaller than the chick? Why is a human yolk sac? Why does it look smaller? The yolk in humans is converted to muscle. The yolk sac in chicks keeps the embryo warm. Developing humans get the nourishment from the placenta. So they don't need much nutrient from the yolk, right? That makes sense. That is very correct. So when a human is developing, so the human will have the nutrient from the mother through the placenta. So, but the chick is not connected to any mother, so he gets the nutrient from the yolk sac. So that's why he's so massive. So the nutrient will be there till the egg would hatch inward. All right, so let's move on to the next one. This is for what? When can a pregnant woman first feel the movement of our fetus? in the third trimester? Are you sure? Ahmed, do you agree with him? A pregnant woman can feel the movement of our fetus first time in the second trimester. It says the answer is the third trimester. Huh? See, huh? What about the Ahmed? Second trimester. The second trimester is enough for the mother to see the baby moving. It might be very slow movement, but the baby is moving already. It's in the second trimester. This is after this is almost 4 months into 6 months. If the baby doesn't move at all in the second trimester, there might be a problem with the baby. So there might be a problem with the baby. All right, so this ends the second lesson. Now we want to move on to birth, growth, and aging. So birth, growth, and aging. In this lesson, one of the things we want to learn, things we have to learn in this lesson is what are the stages of human development from infancy to adulthood? What are the stages in which a human develops from an infant to become an adult? So, and we want to talk about labor, dilation, expulsion stage, placental stage, infancy, childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. So we will start with the growth. Growth is an increase in the amount of living material and formation of new structures in an organism. Many people define growth as an increase in body mass. Many people define growth as an increase in the body mass. So, well, normally growth is an increase, is an amount of living material and formation of new structures. So new structures like the bone, the organs, the skin, and all the parts of the body increasing. So in an organism. So we're going to talk about the birth first. So the birth usually happens in 3 stages. One of the main stages is the dilation. The dilation talks about when the cervix opens. Then expulsion is when the baby is meant to get out from the uterus. And the other one is the placental stage. So we'll talk about every stage one after the other. So the beginning of the birthing process is called labor. So the beginning of giving birth is called labor. So when a woman starts to have contraction, so she starts feeling contraction in the uterus. So the contraction makes the place uncomfortable for the baby. But contraction and opening of the cervix, they usually happen simultaneously. Once the cervix opens more, then the contraction increases more. Is understood? Once the cervix opens more, then the level of the contraction will increase. So the level of the uncomfortability of the uterus would increase. So this triggers the baby want to get out. So the sign the baby is going to be born is dilation. So the dilation, I think the normal dilation for a baby to be born ranges between 7 to 10. So the doctors will say that when the cervix dilation is up to 10 centimeters, this is the time the baby can be born. But some doctors will say, even some people give birth with 7 dilation, depending on the size of the baby. Let me finish this page. So when the amniotic sac, when it tears, so the amniotic sac, which is carrying the amniotic fluid, when it tears, then the fluid pours out. So the amniotic fluid flows out to the vagina. So this is the time, it is sometimes called the water breaking. So at this point in time, you should know the baby is coming. So hopefully we're going to stop here today and we continue from there in the next class. Thank you very much.